And we are here. Welcome to
We're
One Stop
here.
Co-op Woo! So
Oh my
this
god.
is not our normal co-op chat. We are here to play a game that's currently on GameFound. It is Conquest Princess, and we are here with a special guest, Seppy.
Woo! Hey, everybody. I'm Seppy, Chief Game Designer for Fight in the Box Games.
So he's here to teach us and show us how this game works. And I see a lot of people in chat, so say hi real quick. So, hey, Matt, welcome. Hey, Aaron, did you really get Seppy up this early to talk at him? Sorry, Seppy. Thanks, Aaron. Hi, Kim. Nice to see you here, too. Cool. Okay. But yeah, we're going to play through this one. So if you guys have any questions, we'll be watching the chat. And Aaron says, oh, he looks more awake than you all are.
This is true. I usually roll out of bed about 10 minutes before our chats and ready to go here. And I did wake up a little bit earlier today to have a little breakfast. But I still have my coffee. Good to go.
Yeah, I got my cold brew going on. You know, I understand my priorities.
Too soon, Matt. I haven't died yet.
But we haven't died yet, Matt. We're still going. We're still going.
Still going. Okay, but at this point, hey, Seppy, how about you run it? So we'll teach us how this works.
Yeah, let's do this. Steve, how do you prefer to learn? Do you like to know everything before making decisions, or do you like to learn as you play?
Learn as I play.
All right, we'll learn as you play. All right, so the person with this marker will be our first agent, and I will do the first turn, and then I'll let you make your own decisions as we go along, because, you know, mistakes are funnier at speed. So let's start with what Conquest Princess is. Conquest Princess is the story and crisis management game about the Temporal Intergalactic Armed Response Agency, or the Tiara, okay? So it's like The Captain is Dead meets Sailor Moon, okay? So what ends up happening in this game is you have this actionometer, which is your gauntlet. And what you do every turn is slide your actionometer to the action you want to take. And there are 3 actions: move, shoot, and engage, okay? And all you do is slide it to that spot. So all the agents for the tutorial mission, the Captain Ashi Marooned, that is our first mission.
I love the names. I love the names of everything you have in here.
Yes, and the Captain Ashi Marooned, our ship has been overrun and completely damaged. It is our tutorial mission, and our mission, because in Conquest Princess, you only win the game if you complete your mission. And there are 4 missions in the box to start with. We are playing the tutorial mission, which is, of course, a deep nerd Star Trek cut. But yes, in this, we have Captain Ashi, who's this little guy. We didn't get a good Captain Ashi pawn for this. And we must get Captain Ashi to the Mendery, fully repair it, and the Mendery is over here. You can tell the thing because the red or green triangle points at the location of the ship. So this one is pointing to the Mendery right here. Okay, we need to fully repair it, heal them, and then one of us needs to experience our magical girl transformation, Steve.
Sailor Moon. All right.
That's right. We need to reignite the time drive on our living ship. We call the ship the same name as our organization, the Tiara, and we can only do that if somebody feels the power of space fashion. Okay. All right. Now, I know I've lost half your chat already. I swear to God that this game is as good as the theme is bonkers. All right. The reviews for this, you don't even have to take Bairnt's word for it. Bairnt was a convert. He was like, this game's got to be terrible. And then I hoodwinked him into Tower Games in Minneapolis, where he was cornered and he could do only like Clockwork Orange style, like experience the game. And then he came away going, yes.
Hey, I think our chat's following it. So it's fine, because Matt says, you got to mend the Smenderic. Got it.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, man. Yeah, I went when I actually met with you. I was so excited about it. I was actually like, okay, I'll see the game. By the end of the time, I was like, dang it, I gotta leave. And like, I wanted to play. We're working on mission 1. I'm like, I really wish we could finish mission 1, but I have to go. And you're like, that's okay. I'm like, no, it's not. I want to keep playing.
Yes, that's right. The whole architecture as a game designer that I'm very excited about building on is a simple action structure that ends up being becoming strategically very complicated based on your choices. Okay. The reason we teach with the Captain Ashi is in the Captain Ashi, we're going to experience the first level of the game, which is what your core suit does and how the agents work together and how to use your action points wisely. Okay. In the second mission or the standard mission, we add the space pets, we add the fashion items, we add another battleground, and the game gets incredibly challenging pretty quickly. Okay. But if you're not up for that much challenge, every scenario can be turned down to a more palatable level by turning down the danger tokens, and we'll talk about that later. So there's a lot of variability, so people can enjoy the game that they want to play. I am a Gen Xer and have survived the Cold War, and so I like things exceptionally punishing. That is just who I am. And I brought that to this game. All right, so the very first thing we're going to do, Steve, is I'm going to have purple take a move action, okay? And you saw I dropped my actionometer down to move, all right? And with a move, I can either move my character to an adjacent spot on the ship. That would be one of these 3 spaces. Or I can move a tile back to the bag. And that's what I'm going to choose to do right here. Boom. Okay? So move on the ship or move a tile back to the bag. Make sense?
And those tiles are the bad guys, right? Or something?
No. Yeah, the tiles are filling the bag of destiny. And now the bag of destiny, this is a co-op bag builder. The bag of destiny determines whether or not you hit or miss when you're blasting bad guys. And so instead of rolling dice or pulling cards, you are pulling from the bag of destiny. Okay. So keeping that bag so it's functional and it's not all just misses and critical fails is a key part of the action economy for this game.
So at the beginning of the game, there's just a finite amount of hits, misses, and critical misses, but that can change as the game goes on due to things in other missions.
Right. So here's the extra ones. These are the total components. What starts in the bag normally is 15 hits, which are these blue guys right here. 5 misses, which are these white guys here. And then 4 critical fails, which are these here. And now the event deck is going to add these and so forth and whatnot. But what's important to understand is we have a whole bunch of hits already on the board, making our bag a little suboptimal. Okay? So the next thing I'm going to do, Steve, is move my purple character to comms. Okay? Now I'm going to choose to take the next type of action, which is shoot. When I take a shoot action, I can shoot any of the bad guys in breach points attached to that section of the ship. Boom, boom. And I'm going to choose to shoot this one. Now, Bairnt has a fashion item to start. Everybody has a core suit. Mine is the interdimensional shell. Bairnt, what is your core suit?
Oh, my core suit is awesome. It says, let's see if I can read it. Let's see if I can figure out how to use Tabletop Simulator. By the way, I'm not a Tabletop Simulator pro, like you guys are. My suit allows me to, it gives me the power of Rage Plate. So your first shoot with the core suit, each turn I get to draw 2 tiles, and then I choose one to return it. So I'm actually really good at shooting.
Cool.
All right. So what's a little bit different about Conquest Princess is friendship would be magic if it wasn't already copyrighted, Steve. So what ends up happening is you can use the fashion items of any agent who shares your exact same square.
Oh,
Since
nice.
I know the bag is bad, currently a little weak, and I'm very unlucky, I moved to the section of the ship where Bairnt was so that I could take advantage of Bairnt's fashion item, the Rage Plate. So I'm gonna mix up this bag, because in TTS you should do that every time you grab it. And then I'm gonna grab 2 tiles out of it and then choose. Well, that was amazing. I don't think I've done that in a demo in a while. I actually hit something. That is really good. And now, when you hit a bad guy, that bad guy returns to the dark dimension over there, and then this hit tile, however, goes on the board.
Oh.
So that means the bag, every time you hit, the bag becomes more difficult, but then every time you miss, the bag becomes more easy, because we're going to talk about what happens when you miss a critical hit when it shows up. All right, so the last action you are going to see me do is take the engage action. Okay? Engage means use the ability of the space you occupy. All of these locations have abilities when they are undamaged. Well, currently they're all critically damaged, and some have abilities when they're slightly damaged, but that means they usually don't have a feature. But comms, luckily enough, is still functioning. So, Steve, what does comms say its engage function is?
Looks like it says return all tiles on the tiara to the bag.
That is really good, and I'm going to choose that as my final action. And that is going to, Bairnt, if you want to help me out, drag some of these. Yes, drag some of these blue tiles. See, Steve, I got him in the warm-up, like to practice a little bit. Sign of a good demo when you hoodwink people into work. So, right? And so that returned our bag to a pristine state. So we now have 15 hits, 5 misses, and 4 critical fails in the bag. So the bag is as good as it's going to get. Now,
as you would say, it's optimal.
It is optimal. Yeah, it's optimal. Now, because I engaged, and or because I ran out of action coins, it becomes the next agent's turn. Now, the last thing that we're going to do is check for transformation. And that's the last step in any take action part of any individual agent's turn. Okay? So that means it's going to be your go now. Steve, are you ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right. So the very first thing you would do on your turn is called reload, which means basically bring your action coins back to the top. They're already there. Mm-hmm. And then if you have any fashion items that have the ability called starter, then you would do that.
So I do. I get to take a power cube, huh?
All right. So power cubes come from here. They come from the Titan field. That is the creative fabric of the universe. Please do not confuse it with the morphing grid. That is obviously a distinct and separate entity.
Obviously
a distinct. Just so you know, these Easter eggs are nowhere in the book. I only save the Easter eggs for live playthroughs, so your viewers are getting to hear all the Easter eggs get spewed out. Like otherwise, I just let people figure this out. That I am like insane. All right, so go ahead and take your power cube, Steve, and put it in one of these things.
Okay.
All right, so if you notice, there's 4 spots for power cubes, and then the power cubes also go to this final column. So that tells you 2 things. Number 1, if you have 4 power cubes, you can, and your actionometer reads like your transformation sequence, you will transform. Okay? Or you can use a power cube and use the final column. So it has 2 purposes. When you get power cubes, you can either use them to store them up for transformation, which is probably what we're going to do in this tutorial. We're going to get you to magically girl transform, or you can use it to use the final column. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, go ahead and take your turn then.
Okay, so what's the problem here? We got bad guys there. 3 bad guys, looks like.
Get it away.
It'll go to its home.
And that's basically it. How do you repair, I guess, these locations?
That's an amazing question. So the tiara is a living ship. And so you must go to engineering. It is like the TARDIS or Moya. You must go to engineering and stimulate its repair gland, or tell it to go, hey, focus on not interdimensional things, focus on saving yourself. And so you go to engineering to do that.
Gotcha. Okay, so then I would like to, let's go ahead while I'm with someone, bad guy, let's take a shot.
That's great. When in doubt, Steve, blast it out.
That's right. So then I don't have a special ability, so I'm just going to draw one tile into it.
Did you shuffle it first?
Oh, shuffle it.
Oh, that doesn't matter. You drew too late. The Bag of Destiny.
Okay, Bag of Destiny. Here we go.
The Bag of Destiny. That's good.
Woo woo. So he's gone.
Yeah.
And we put this back on its spot.
Yes. That's great. I will shuffle this bag so that.
If you want, I can actually set it to randomly. Here you go. There, now it should randomly do it automatically for you.
That's amazing. That's great. Thank you so much.
Yep. Okay, so that's done. And then I will go ahead and move.
Excellent.
Hey Dan,
I love
let's
that.
see here. Let's go move up to engineering. And then am I able to use engineering, or do I have to take out the bad guy first?
That's absolutely. You cannot engage a location. That's one of the limitations of the engage action. You cannot take an engage action if there's a bad guy present in that space.
Kick him out, Steve.
Let's shoot.
Shoot him.
Do a shot.
Too bad I'm not there to help you.
What is this?
Uh-oh, flip it over.
Oh.
Oh, the suspense. You had me there, Steve.
I'm on fire. And then I'll do the very last action. Let's go ahead and use the engineering ability.
All right, so let's talk about how repairing works. So engineering says repair engineering. That's the only thing you can do. That this symbol down here, which also matches your bottom row, basically says there's an engage action that you can do there. Okay.
Cool.
And when you see something that is in red, all you do is take the yellow version of it and put it on top like this. Boom. And that's how simple repair is. If it is already
any place else, cool.
Yes, and if it is yellow, then you can flip it over to green.
Ah.
And that's how the repair of engineering works.
Cool.
Okay. Now, Steve, your turn would normally end because you used an engage and spent your fourth action.
Right.
But you have a cube, and you are occupying the same space as green. Green has the smart armor.
Green is so good.
Yeah.
Your first engage is not in your turn. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So green has been infected by the mechanovirus, and so they do not end their turn. They're very good at using the places that are around them.
So that means I take an extra action?
If you
wanted to. I think you should save up this cube so that we can win the tutorial, but I'm not you. You can be your own space agent, Steve.
Nah, I was planning on building it then, so we're good.
All right. Now Bairnt is a champ at this, so I'm not gonna give you any hints, Bairnt. Make it happen.
Oh my gosh. Really? You're gonna make me? Oh boy. Okay.
Oh boy.
So,
you played this game.
I'm really good at killing things. Unless and hopefully Matt has not cursed me. He says that the what did he say to me? The misses are known as Bairnt tokens. So,
Yes.
Bairnt tokens! Yay! Bairnt tokens. That's very exciting.
Winning's also overrated, apparently.
That's right. All right. Let's see here. We got two bad guys on the board. Everything's damaged. I think I'm going to do something very similar to what Steve did. I think it's best to get up there to that engineering and start repairing the ship.
I love it.
That's the plan. So I'm going to use two move actions. I'm just going to move my guy first. I'll get him up here. He's going to hang out with the crew. I'm going to use the move action here, because I'm really good at moving these cubes around. There we go. Then I'm going to do a double engage action because I'm with green, and green is amazing.
Wow. The chat literally scared Bairnt away from the Bag of Destiny. Did you notice? They called them Bairnt tokens, and so he wouldn't touch them.
Nope. Don't need to worry about those. We'll leave them there. Everything's fine.
Oh, that's amazing.
So now, if we flip the yellow card, what happens?
It would allow you to reach all the way to comms, and then would also make the power tile for that area available. Otherwise, you can work on the teleporter, which we need to get fixed, or the mendery, or all these other places that need to get fixed.
Well, let's see. I like a full-powered engine. We're going to flip that.
Nice.
That's the deal. Then we're going to, what's the other ones here? What is this one? I've got to figure out how do I zoom in? Oh, there I go. I figured out how to zoom in. That's amazing. Okay. Critical damage, teleporter, mendery, wardrobe. Okay. we need the teleporter.
We do.
Right?
Yep.
Let's get that.
All
The
right.
teleporter? Oh my gosh, I picked the right card. I'm amazing. Now
You
it's
did.
finished. I'll let you do it. Good
It's
job.
fantastic. Good job. And that would end your turn because you used all 4 of your action coins.
I did. It's that fast and that simple. And of course, I did not activate my fashion power yet, so my transformation. I don't have the cubes, and I didn't do the right symbols.
That's great. Okay. So I would have the option now, if I wanted to get a power cube because Steve's character occupies the same space. That's how good Steve was. Steve not only blew up a bad guy, repaired part of the ship, but then even made me better at my job. I'm like overwhelmed by the amount of love that I got to experience by Steve's.
Well, I moved twice.
Yeah, it's good. No, you.
Matt has a question.
Like,
he says, "Doesn't the enemy go?" Was his question.
They will. I'm gonna have Green make a very quick turn so that we can learn things. I'm gonna move to put that tile back in the bag, and I'm gonna engage twice so we can get to chat's question right away. Because this is what happens because the enemy is gonna get to go right now. So when I repair, I'm gonna repair the teleporter, and then I'm going to repair the wardrobe. So boom. And there we go. So that would end the round. Now, the round begins with picking a new lead agent. Now, if you see, Steve, on your bar, you see there's an area that's called load. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically the space where your action tokens start.
Mm-hmm.
And it even includes the final column. Now, for every item you have in there, either action coins or hits or critical fails, it counts as slowing you down and making you uneligible to be the lead agent. So right now we have a really stress-free, clear-thinking team with 3 of us having no action and no tokens in their load area. That would mean that we would get to choose who goes first of those 3. So who do we want to go first, Steve?
I think it might make sense to have Bairnt go first because basically guys will start your turns with this ability, right?
All right. I love that. And that is great thinking. You need to think about how you end and start your actions. It's a key thing to optimize action efficiency in this game.
Very true.
There are a lot of things that are going to pull you in every direction and try to get you to spread out. But the team, just like the Lions from Voltron, are way more effective when they are working together in sync in the same place. So,
which happens to be almost 90% of the cartoons. Somebody's having a bad day or not good, and they all come together at the end and fight the bad guy.
I love that. That's a message. I'm not. So we moved our first player marker to Bairnt, and now Bairnt is going to look at telemetry. Telemetry is our time-space ship's ability to see the future and influence the future. And now, as our lead agent, Bairnt is going to make a selection of what the enemies are going to do to us this turn. This is called the event phase. Okay, and so if they do anything terrible, it is Bairnt's fault.
It is my fault. So, what are we seeing here on the cards here, Seppy, for these things?
So if you alt and look up close to them so that people can see what you've got seeing, you see that it says Invasion and Tiara at the top, and it's color-coded. That basically says we're going to do everything on this battleground, and then we're going to do everything on this battleground. And we're going to follow each one of these icons. The skull icon means every bad guy in an area attacks. Okay? And the down arrow means the conveyor belt function for the invasion flips. Okay. And then you see these are basically the spawn, the breach points. These basically say place an enemy on those breach points. Okay. So, Bairnt, there are no bad decisions, just bad game designers. Which of these 2 things do you want to do? Protect Ashi or Ashi under fire?
Well, there's some hints in the card names there, I think.
I think there are. I think I am known intergalactically for being the most obvious person on the planet. Like, seriously, happy Pride, everybody. Like, I am super obvious.
I think we're gonna do this one, and
All right.
I think that's the best one.
All right, so we would take this here and we would flip this over, and then you would get to see what happens. So this, oh, you chose this one?
Yeah, that's the right one, right?
It is. All right, that's good. I just make you doubt it. So that means all the bad guys here are going to fire. All right, so that means this guy hits nothing. This guy hits nothing. They only shoot directly below them. This minion, however, hits Ashi. Ashi would die from the space madness they have if they took any more damage. Well, fear not, our time spaceship has the ability to alter the timeline to save ourselves from terrible and must be avoided events like Ashi's death. Okay, that is called a disruption. When the tiara triggers a disruption, it's like a glitch in the matrix. We basically have to count the number of danger tokens. Bairnt, how many danger tokens do we have?
2.
All right, Steve. So what I would like you to do is take 2 cards from the power deck and disintegrate them, which means remove them from the power deck and add them to the disintegrate pile here.
Okay.
We don't get to see what they are when a disruption happens, which could be creep for later missions. But what this means is we've now discovered, because of Bairnt's leadership, how we lose. Okay, so losing means our power deck, we run out of power. Now, the power cards themselves are fashion items that power us up and home decor. So if we ever run out of things to wear, Steve, we lose the game.
Awesome.
Makes sense.
It's like running out of power-ups in Metroid or like when you need them. You need a power-up. You can't just shoot your vanilla blaster and win against a boss battle. Like if you ever run out of stuff, then you've lost the game. And so so we took this disruption, we disintegrated those 2, and the last part of taking a disruption is taking this danger token and adding one to the danger level. Does that make sense?
When Steve, you do the next disruption, you'll be drawing 3 cards.
Oh,
Yes.
I see. Okay.
Okay. So now that we do the down arrow indicated here, which means to flip. All right. I love a conveyor belt in my game designs. I put them in almost every one of my games.
That's pretty awesome.
I do. I have a thing for conveyor belts and cannibalism. They show up in every game.
That's awesome.
So now, see what would have happened if Bairnt had chosen the other one. Ashi would have been fired 1, 2, 3 times, and we would have taken 3 different and separate disruptions, burning 2 cards for the first one, 3 cards for the second one, and 4 cards for the last one.
Oh, wow.
And so this is the first time, I'm pretty sure you've heard this on this stream. Bairnt made the right decision.
This is true. This is true. Most of the time we do playthroughs with people, I do the wrong decision.
But again, there are no bad decisions, just bad game designers. Now, Bairnt, please let us spawn people at 2, 4, and 6 as indicated on this card.
All right, 2 is there.
Correct.
4 is where a token is.
Yeah, and so if you do this, it actually helps you with bag building. There's only single occupancy for type of things. You could somehow, there are some situations where you can get multiple tokens on one place, but you cannot have tokens and bad guys on the same location. And you can only have one bad guy in any particular location, no matter what its type. So that's
now. What if you draw a bad guy and there's already a bad guy?
That's great. In all of my games, I like players to have agency when there is a question. So in Mouse, Cheese, Cat, Cucumber, this happens a lot. So if you have, like, let's say you spawn somebody here on this 8, you would get to choose to either have them go to 0 or go to 7 or 1.
Okay.
They could go to any adjacent breach point.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Okay. So that's either numerically and 0's adjacent to all of them.
Gotcha. Matt says that so far the game is Sailor Moon meets Star Trek meets Matrix meets Space Invaders and meets Voltron.
Matt is incredible, but I need to correct him. This is obviously Invaders from Space. its own unique IP. Nobody said anything about Space Invaders, Matt. This is a classic space problem, Matt. It's a very classic space problem. Absolutely. And we'll talk about these other things that Matt will notice when I give you a preview of some of the other missions at the end of this. All right, so the last thing that we do is, if you notice, Steve, did it say our telemetry was here during comms?
Let's see, 2.
So our status is like an enchantment in Magic the Gathering. It basically says, hey, what advantages do we have? And status 2 of telemetry 2 means that we get to have both of these spaces filled. So to end the event phase, Bairnt has to refill the telemetry area.
All right. I flip it, right?
Yes, you do. Oh, no, Bairnt, what did you do?
Oh, no.
I probably did the right thing.
You did.
It's usually the right thing.
It is.
Let's see what it says. What do I got here? Sacrifice. Oh, okay, Steve. Sorry, this is the end for you. It says crisis. 1 agent takes 2 damage, or all agents take a damage. Oh boy. Then I get to disintegrate this card and draw again.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
boy.
you have to make the decision as our lead agent. You're in charge. You tell us which of those 2. When a crisis comes up, you have to resolve it immediately.
And
That's
most likely, I'm guessing the active player is usually the person in charge of deciding kind of the final say on things.
Yes, yes. You can hear everybody else's arguments. Like Steve can say, "No, not me," but you can ignore him and go, "I'm in charge, Steve."
That's right. I'm in charge. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to take. What's here? We don't have the med bay open yet, do we?
No.
The Mendery.
The Mendery, yeah.
It's not fixed yet, is it?
Nope.
No.
All right, good. I'm going to share the wealth. Boom, we're all taking a damage.
Oh, look at that. We're all in it together. And so when you take damage, you remove one of these armor tokens. And it's okay to have no armor tokens. I'm pointing that at Bairnt. Not that I expect him to critically fail, but it's okay to have none. But if you have none and you take an additional damage, that will cause a disruption because you will have died and the ship has to protect you. Okay? And then this one, yeah, go ahead.
Matt has a comment here for you, Seppy. He says he spotted a major design flaw. You're letting Bairnt make important choices.
Duly noted, Matt. Thank you for pointing out my inadequacies as a game designer. I don't know if I could design around that, but that is clearly what has happened here. All right, so Bairnt, we had said.
You sure you want it? Draw it again.
You're doing it.
Be in this deck, right? I don't think enough of them. Let's see what we got there. Okay, good.
All right. So when you see 2 events that look like that give you choices and no longer say they're not crises, basically 2 events, that means we're ready to go back to take action. So the bad guy phase ends when we can see what's happening next.
Now, if you did not have this functioning, you wouldn't know what's coming next. So you'd just be randomly drawing, and you could draw into a crisis and keep drawing.
That's great. Let's talk about the status for damage for comms. For comms being slightly damaged, we only have a telemetry of 1, which means we get to see what's coming, but we get no option. And then if it's completely damaged, we do not get to see. We just top deck. Whatever happens to us, happens to us.
Oofda.
It's like date night with you, Bairnt.
That's right.
Whatever happens, happens.
Whatever happens, happens.
Your poor spouse. All right, let us continue.
That's right. I won her over with my wit and charm.
All right. So, as lead agent, Bairnt is now going to start by reloading. And by reloading, you're going to add the action coins back to the top. Now, this is a factor for holding on to misses and critical fails, right? And you don't want to have that happen. So all the rest of the agents wait until the beginning of their turn to reload. Okay?
Gotcha.
So, and that's an important mechanism in the game. Now that you've done that, you would do a starter. You could use blue starter if you wanted to.
What's blues?
Take a power cube.
Yes, we do.
All right, go ahead and do that.
I am going to be greedy. Take power cube.
Make sure you're using it then.
Yes, I am. Now green is still with us, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to use my engage action from where I am
Great.
to.
Oh, you cannot do that because we have a bad guy here. You're gonna have to blast that guy
I got to
first.
take that guy. Let's shoot him.
Yeah.
Now you draw 2 tokens because of my super fashion power.
Your super suit. Honey, have you seen my super suit?
Why do you need
9,000.
it?
Here we go. 2 tokens.
Oh,
Boom, boom.
there are no Bairnt
Yes.
tokens. Who is this Bairnt? No
Get
one
them out of
recognizes
there.
this
Yeah,
Bairnt.
there we go.
No one
Put that
recognizes this Bairnt.
We love it. I'm going to use the engage action here now that he's dead to be able to fix something. Let's fix the. Let's see. Our teleporter looks pretty good. This place looks like it needs help. And this place needs help too. So let's put the other one out there. So we have all of them there. That'd be the deal.
That's great. Let's do that.
All right, so that's fixed. Now I'm going to. Let's see here. I am going to. Oh, here we go. It's gonna be glorious. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh no, my plan has failed. Let's see here.
It's gonna be glorious. Oh crap! Sounds about right.
Move, shoot, move, shoot, move. I have 3 actions because I could use this power cube as an action if I want to.
Yes.
Let's see here. I could move. I could teleport. Would that be good? Oh, I gotta kill this guy to use this, right?
Yeah, go shoot somebody. When in doubt, Bairnt, blast them
I'm
out.
gonna shoot this guy.
All right, that's great. Go
Is
ahead
that
and
oh, that's not in the teleport. Okay, we're gonna shoot this guy.
make sure you do your actions.
Yes, I'm still debating if I'm gonna. Yeah, we're gonna kill this guy.
All right. One of the things I love about this, Steve, the actionometer was if you played any crisis management game, you know you're constantly like raising your hand and going like this. You're like, I did this, like this. I'm like, let's just make that a game component.
Right.
So, oh, Bairnt token came out. Yeah.
Now I don't get to draw 2. I only get to do it once, according to my power.
Only once?
That's the deal.
Oh, your first.
Yeah,
shot.
once
Got
per
it.
turn.
Okay. And so where does
now,
that go, Bairnt? You know where that goes, right?
Sadly, I do know where that goes. It goes right there.
Now, see, Bairnt didn't pull out the Bairnt token to fail. Bairnt did that because Bairnt's a team player and wanted everybody to look better. Okay.
That's right.
So what happens in this game is these misses are now out of the bag because Bairnt is holding on to it as part of his load, which is great.
That's right. That's right. Now I do have a cube. I could move if you think there's another advantageous place for me to move for somebody else that wants to use my power. Or I can shoot that guy.
Just shoot that
guy.
You're gonna pull another Bairnt token anyway. It's fine.
Nope. There we go.
Ah, look at that.
That's the deal right there.
Yeah.
Boom. Oh,
I'm going to be on another stream and refer to them as Bairnt tokens, and they're going to be like, WTF? Like, why is that a Bairnt token?
What's a Bairnt token?
What's a Bairnt token? Is that a special type of token? I'm like, yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes,
that's my turn. And I have to get my power cord because I forgot it.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to go with green real quick. The very first action I'm going to do is I'm going to take a move action to return this back to the bag. I'm going to take a engage action to repair the Mendery. I'm going to move to the that's not me. I'm going to move to the wardrobe, and then I'm going to I'm going to go to Bairnt. Sorry,
because you started, by the way.
I could, but I decided not to because I want you to hold on to it.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm going to move this. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it back to the bag. Okay. And now we're going to go with purple. So purple is going to start with a shoot action. And I shot them successfully, which never happens. That's great.
Love it.
Okay. And then I'm going to take a move action to come to here. Oh, I did. Took a move action from there. I'm going to take a teleport action to bring Captain Ashi to the Mendery. And then I'm going to take you're going to have 1 cube, 1. Can I figure it out? No, I think we're going to have to go at least one more turn. And then I'm going to take another engage using Green's ability and heal Captain Ashi. Now, let's talk about how teleporting works. It's just like Star Trek, okay? You can pick up anybody anywhere, but they have to come down on one of these pads, okay? So you see that pad symbol? We're going to add those pad symbols when we release the space cannons. But Purple's ability is to add the teleport symbol to a location that you are in. Okay,
nice.
So you can activate teleporting any place there is the symbol. Any place there is the symbol, you can activate it. Like there's a panel in Star Trek to teleport. You can pick up anybody anywhere. That's where it gets confusing. And then you can drop them on any one of these symbols.
We have a very important question, though. Aaron asks, can you teleport Bairnt off the ship?
In the next mission, I definitely can.
Okay, good.
Yeah, like I'm going to have a goo monster eat Bairnt in the next mission. It'll be great. But since we successfully used a fully repaired Mendery on Captain Ashi, we not only got him off the planet, but using the combination of purple and green, we actually did one of our 2 objectives, which was to heal Captain Ashi of his space madness. Woo! And there was much rejoicing.
Love it.
Yay! All right. So now all we have to do is get Steve to magically girl transform.
Love it.
Okay. All right, Steve. Let's do this. It's your turn.
So you're implying that I need to grab these power cubes then, huh?
Right. And we're going to help you out with the last item of the dealio, which is fashion is power in Conquest Princess. And we're going to help you get more fashion items and set yourself up for transformation.
Yeah, that's so right. if I were to do this transformation sequence here, I would be able to transform then, right?
But you have to have 4 cubes.
Oh, I have 4 cubes and then do that move.
And your actionometer needs to read what your sequence is.
Gotcha.
So you do not check for transformation into the end of your turn.
Gotcha.
Can I ask you a question, Seppy?
Yes, please. Anything you'd like.
When trying to make your transformation sequence, can you do actions on there and not really resolve them? So say one of them is a shoot action. Can I just put a shoot action and not actually take it because there's nothing to shoot?
No, your ship is alive and your friend. You can't just start shooting the ship.
So we got to make sure we keep bad guys on the board for him to be able to transform.
Right. It's like that critical anime moment, that Dragon Ball Z moment. You need to have that dramatic moment. And definitely when you do your sequence, a fireball doesn't fire from your controller. That is definitely not what's happening in this instance. Okay. Okay. All right, there's no Street Fighter here. There's no Street Fighter here.
No.
I know Matt is checking. As a representative of Capcom, he's like, no, you did not do this to us. Okay.
Let's go ahead and do repair then. Let's repair the wardrobe while we're at it.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we flip that over.
Yay! Now what the wardrobe fully repaired does is unlock the power-up tiles. And the power-up tiles are not only hits, all the special tiles are hits, okay? But when you do, and since you did this, it reveals the power line. So if you hit a bad guy with one of these, you would successfully then get to take a power-up item and add it to your fashion plate. That's what this is called, your fashion plate. Okay? And so currently on there is the leftmost laser and the 4D blender beanie. So these are the fashion items that we have to work with.
I got to look at that one. That's amazing.
All right. You've done great things for our galactic service team. Continue your turn.
Okay, let's go ahead and move. Let's run down there, and when in doubt, shoot, right?
Yeah, when in doubt, blast them out.
Let's blast. There we go.
Let's do it.
Oh,
Bairnt token.
Love it.
Bairnt tokens go on there. That's right. Okay, keep on going.
And let's blast again. What's the worst that can happen, right?
Yeah, critically failing.
Oh!
You drew a Steve token. Ha, take that.
It's a Steve token. So that's going to definitely go there. Okay, Steve. And not only did you miss, you lost an armor point for doing it. So you have no armor points left.
Oh, this is great. This is going great now.
All right. That's really exciting. I love that so much. All right. So now that will end our round. It will go back to being the bad guy's turn. Now, Steve, our glorious hosts of Bairnt and Steve are obviously not clear thinking enough to be in charge with one item here and 2 items here, which means that it is going to be my go first. And I will choose to do green. Okay. And then that will move that here. And then green is going to choose to do this action. Okay. As far as the bad guys go. So the very first thing the bad guys are going to do is flip. Pew, pew, pew. Then they're all going to fire, destroying nothing of significance that won't grow back. That is a chapter of my autobiography from my 20s. And we'll spend somebody at 1, 7, and 5. I'm sorry, I must have said that out loud. All right, spawn somebody at 1, 7, and 5.
1, 7, 5.
Now, if we look at the too many of them, there's nothing on the invasion, but I do notice the symbol during the green. So you'd place the first one on 0, and then then it would fire. Is that the deal?
Yes. So you would spawn, then everybody on the ship would fire.
Oh, on the ship would fire. So not
yeah.
That sounds really bad.
The skull means everybody in that particular battleground. So this one's a purple skull, means everybody here. This one's a green skull, that means here. If it was a red skull, that would be a copyright infringement. So we are, oops, doing bad things. Okay, we did that. And then we go like this. And then this is going to go here. And then that's going to
And I'm going to stop you one time here, Seppy. I'm sorry.
What
so
I do
if
wrong
it
now?
fires on the ship, that means all these red guys would attack the square they're in?
Yes. They would attack comms. Yep.
And if we have 3 people, we get to choose who takes the damage. But if you only have 1 person, that person takes the damage. But if nobody, the ship takes the damage.
100%, Bairnt. Oh my God, you really do like this game.
I am victorious in my memory.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. Like, my small, shriveled game designer heart has just grown 10 times in size, Bairnt. 10 times in size.
We would probably lose the game if you drew that card, because we'd have all these things. Well, we wouldn't have the 3 of them on there, but if, for example, it fired right now, this would be a danger thing here. Or we'd have a, what do you call them? What do you call these things?
A disruption, yes. We would take a disruption because Steve could not repair, take the damage. Sure. And so that would definitely be the case.
One here, in theory.
Yeah. Everything else can take, can potentially take damage.
Including because you just flip these to yellow then.
Correct. But you can't, if the bad guys always shoot you first. So you had done it in the right order. Like, this bad guy has to shoot Steve if they got shot. Yep. This one would shoot comms, this one, and then we would get to choose how to spread out that damage.
Right. Gotcha. Okay, sorry. Go ahead and draw your next card.
Some of them are like almost like, how do you tell what Zero's shooting at? Is it like between 2 areas? Is it both areas or?
Oh, Steve, your keen eye has shown like an error in my early prototype. This one is actually on the dome of the teleporter, and there's no real good way to play it. So we are redistributing this teleporter in the new prototype version.
Cool.
It's much larger, and this one is hanging out in the center. But yes, no, like as it reads, you could do this and this, but actually by intent, it's this one is actually just in the teleporter area.
That works.
So that's great. Those are great questions. You guys knew all the stuff. That's amazing. All right. So yeah, no, try successful. All right. So we're gonna do something.
Card. You have to draw your card.
Oh, I knew no, I didn't do that right. All right, we're gonna do this. Oh no! Danger! Add a danger token. So that's
not my time. I didn't do it.
It was me. All right, we'll do that. And then we're gonna do this, and we do like this. All right, so this leads us to our next teachable moment. The double downer, if we chose the double downer, that means we would conveyor belt twice.
Yeah.
That would mean that these individuals would all end up on the planet. Well, the tiara cannot have that happen while it is in orbit. We would take a disruption for each one of these bad guys that successfully did that.
Oh my goodness.
So this would be a game ender.
Yeah.
This would be a game ender. Now, that means strategically we'd have to either decide to do this, or hopefully this turn we are going to set you up for a magical girl transformation. Isn't that fantastic?
Let's do it.
Let's do this. Okay. So that being said, green is going to put all their action coins back up. Okay. They're going to move to the teleporter, and then they're going to engage, teleporting you, Steve, to the teleporter. Okay. Remember, I can pick up anybody anywhere, and I could have dropped them either in the Mendery or in the teleporter space, because that's where that teleporter icon is. Right? Those are the two spaces. I couldn't teleport directly from the Mendery, despite the fact that there is an icon there, because the teleport is considered to be an engage. Okay. All right. So the good news is, when you get your molecules exfoliated, Steve, you come back a little fresher, and you get what's called a fast fashion item. That's an item for this deck. So why don't you pull an item from this deck and put it on your fashion plate?
Why? Sorry, I'm not following. Why is it happening?
Anytime you get teleported, you get something nice for yourself in in between, right?
Okay, cool.
Every time. Teleporting is great.
See what it is. We get a Buddy HUD 9000. That's a good one.
Yeah, a heads-up display that helps you with the buddies. That's so great. So now the buddy, cool. Yeah, that's great. So that you can see it matches that icon, so you know where it goes. Now the deal is, at any time, you can disintegrate fashion items of any type and get yourself a power cube. So this is how you're going to get your 4th power cube for your transformation.
Gotcha.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
Here's a hint, Steve. I would do that.
I'm gonna move to the wardrobe, and then I'm going to shoot this bad guy.
Pew pew. All right.
I did it. I know which end of the blaster goes pew this game. That's very exciting for me. And that will end my turn. Okay.
Now, does he have to choose to disintegrate that for a power cube when he gets it, or at any point when it's his turn?
At any point. You can only use it for its special ability, though, during your individual characters take action.
Gotcha.
You can, like, certain fashion items have disintegrate abilities. All the fashion items do. And you must choose whether you want to disintegrate them for their ability or for a power cube, not both.
Oh, so interesting. So the fast fashion are all one-time effects, but if you happen to get one of these, they're persistent.
Yes. But these are also your hit points for the game. So that's the difference between the two of them. All right, so we're going to move over to purple, and purple is going to move, engage. So I'm going to move.
I got a question.
Yes.
Does it always have to go in, like, in the order you're going clockwise, or can you go counterclockwise, or always have to go clockwise or whatever?
The turn order for agents is always clockwise unless you're playing 2 players. If you play 2 players, you get to go with the lead agent. The other person gets to choose. Then they use it goes back to the other person's other agent, and then that's a final. Otherwise, it always goes clockwise, starting with whoever is this. Gotcha. And that creates a lot of replayability in the game in an exciting way. So I'm going to move over here, and then I'm going to move over here, and then I'm going to engage twice, putting these amazing power-up tiles back in the game.
Sweet.
Or back in the bag for the first time.
That is amazing.
That is great. And so it makes our bag better. We basically have, but you can only do that after in a fully repaired something. And it isn't considered to be an engage action to launch these tiles into the bag of destiny. Okay?
Gotcha.
Yes. All right. So, Steve, it is now your turn. Are you ready for this?
So start turn, get a cube.
No. First, starter is after we do reload. Starter is before you take actions. Okay, so
not there.
So when you reload, you would get to choose whether or not you wanted to lock these tiles. If you did, you'd get an additional power cube, but you wouldn't be able to get to use those columns this turn. So this is a major feature of the bag building element of the game. So you could basically do what Asian people do and hold on to their failures to get power cubes. That was a test, Bairnt. You failed. You weren't supposed to laugh at that. But my therapist says, stop enabling me. It is definitely a thing. Yes, it's definitely a thing.
So if I could choose not to,
they go back into the bag.
Okay, so if I put these back, they go back in the bag, and someone else will get the horribleness later.
Right.
Yes.
But for our turn, we want you to put them back into the bag, but we didn't get a chance. I thought Bairnt was going to get a Bairnt token earlier. We didn't get a chance to explain the reload mechanism. And the reload mechanism is making choices on what you want to hold on to versus what you want to let go. Okay. Now, if you hold on to it, it has to return to the bag next time. Unlike real life, and my therapist says, you have to let things go.
Okay. But I kind of need to do that, put them back in the bag to do the transformation, right?
You do. Absolutely. You've read it correctly. You've gotten past all your pain. Good on you.
Oops.
You got past the Steve tokens and the Bairnt tokens.
That's right. It's funny because they're putting all this stuff back in the bag, getting ready for a transformation, and I don't think anybody's figured out that there's only 3 cubes there.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
because I've got the other cube.
All right, we're gonna cheat a little bit so we can move on. I'm gonna use DAGM's choice. Yeah, that's really bad. We didn't want that to happen. We really needed Bairnt. Like Bairnt shouldn't have grabbed this cube. He was being bad. But we're gonna cheat a little bit so that Steve can have his moment. Let Steve has his moment. God darn it, Bairnt.
I did that.
Right. Let's pretend.
To avoid that, Bairnt should have gone first, right? So he can clear that.
Yeah, but he couldn't because he had load.
I couldn't because I had a miss in my box.
Right.
So the other two were faster at being able to go first. So if I wouldn't have missed,
gotcha.
Yeah, if I wouldn't have missed, I would have definitely been able to do it.
Gotcha.
That's why we have a cautionary tale of everything that Bairnt actually chooses to do. Like he should, like him taking this token, led us to this vulnerability. But that's okay. We're going to cheat a little bit because this is a tutorial, and go for it.
Okay, so I'm going to use this ability. Just kidding. I'm going to toss this away, disintegrate it, which I'll just throw here, I guess. Oh, down there, perfect. Throw it down here, and then we'll get the last power cube, which magically appeared there. We don't know where it came from. Fine.
Yeah,
that's right.
Alright, so now I got fully powered. So now I got to do this sequence. So obviously,
somehow you got to figure out how to make it happen.
So where am I? I'm right here.
Yeah, if you're in the teleport.
Let's see. If I want move, I can move here.
Yep, correct. That's great.
And then let's go ahead and do the shoot action.
That's wonderful.
It is
good work.
Oh,
you got
yeah, remember.
You're with me. You can draw 2 tokens.
Yeah, you're in my spot. Oh,
no. That's amazing, Steve. That was unbelievable.
Oh my God.
I'm just channeling your powers here.
All right. We are also going to cheat one more time. Oh my God. Look at this bag. Like 2 more times. And let's say you successfully hit this bad guy for our tutorial. Like first screen.
We're showing off. Oh, not.
Yeah.
Here's how you lose the game on the tutorial.
Like how you
wait, this will be easy. Are you sure?
You're the first stream in this campaign to successfully lose the tutorial. Great job, guys.
You can count on us, man.
It's the double B. Yes, double B.
Double B tokens.
Right. That's amazing. So you can see, even with all everything planned correctly, bad things can happen.
Yep.
And that's sort of the nature of the game.
The next turn.
Yep. And then let's have you engage.
And then now I can do this.
Right.
I actually do the Mendery?
Yep. And you should do this thing
myself,
because
maybe.
No, you want to do this thing because I'll explain how transformation works.
Okay, so let's do that thing.
Right.
Yeah, put that in the bag.
Oh, this goes in the bag.
So this goes in the bag, which is awesome. And then you would repair any armor missing armor patches. Okay, so go ahead and do that, Steve. I'm not going to rob you of this.
Okay.
You are going to, if you had any wardrobe malfunctions, you would remove those. Okay. And then you would go to the super version of your suit. Go ahead and do that, which is much better. Okay. And then you would get to do what your super move says right here.
Take another turn. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you would
That's
get to do that.
super good.
And then you return all of your cubes, except for this one because we cheated, to the Titan field, and then you would take your super action, which would be another turn. But since we've already rescued Ashi and you have transformed, that's the tutorial mission with heavy amounts of cheating. Yay!
Heavy amounts of cheating.
We did it. I have to admit,
Steve,
that's one of the cool things about this game is that I still like the unpredictability of that bag and things. So it's like you say, you think you got a great plan all planned out, and then it sometimes can fail.
Right, and that means sometimes early bad actions allow you to, like, it be less risky.
Yeah.
Because you've controlled that. All right, so how much time do we have? Do you want to move on to the standard mission or some of it? I don't know how long your stream normally is.
We normally go about an hour in the morning here, so we're a little over the time now.
All
It
right,
might
but
be
if
worth
I
talking
say
through more
at
of it,
least
though.
show us it. Show us
Yeah,
the
show
next
us it.
mission, kind of what you're looking for. Look what we look forward to.
All right, let's do that. Okay. Bairnt, hold on. Press against Steve's ears for me for a second. I don't want his brain shooting out of his head when it explodes. That's a decompression joke, everybody. Everybody's brains explode in space if they don't breathe. Everybody's brains. All right, so
now we're seeing what the full game looks like.
Yes, this is the standard mission. Okay, so things weren't hard enough. We added a mechapede for Matt. Matt, this is a mechapede. It is not like any other arcade classic where you shoot something that is
worms
long.
around.
Yes, that's absolutely not the case. And this board here, which is the mission board, is definitely not burger time. This is definitely not happening in this one. These are all classic space problems. So welcome to the standard mission. All right. Story-wise, we saved Captain Ashi, but that was the fashion tyrant Mugaga's plan as part of Mugaga's plan. The fashion tyrant wanted us to bring Captain Ashi on board our ship to infect the ship with space madness. So as soon as we get to the next place in time space, the fashion tyrant was there waiting and tries to steal our giant robot, the Conquest Princess. So the game is actually named after the giant robot. Okay? Because the giant robot isn't without protection, our space pet co-pilots were doing maintenance on it and the ship at the time. They weren't going to let the fashion tyrant steal the most powerful weapon for justice in the galaxy, so they enacted the Epsilon Protocol, breaking our giant robot down to its elemental bits. But unfortunately, it trapped them inside because they are noble. They are better than we deserve. So in this first mission, we must reassemble our giant robot and rescue all our space pet co-pilots. So Steve's like, I did not think it could get weirder. Oh my God.
So how do you read these dice, this board here? Oh.
All right. So if you notice, these objective dice are all here. Okay. So every time you pick one up, you have to try to add it to the board. Well, you can only add it to the board. You have to start at the bottom the bottom row. And then you have to connect it to anything that is adjacent. So if we picked up this 2 first, it would go here. And then we could only pick up the 1, the 2, or the red 2, or this next. Mm-hmm. So it's a puzzle. A combat puzzle that we have to survive. Okay? And some of these dice are hiding, waiting for a flip. Okay? So does that make sense?
It does.
It does. Pretty sweet. And then, of course, you notice the bottom cards here changed as well. Now you've got the Micapede doing things as well during the turn.
Yes. So you have the Megapede shooting not mushrooms, Matt, but semi-sentient goo all over the planet. Okay. And if they ever completely cover the planet and you need to shoot one more cube, then we would take a disruption. Okay. Otherwise, they're just trying to slow us down so that the invasion eventually takes the cannons. Okay. Causing disruptions and blowing up our ship. Okay. So that is basically the mission. And so you see, we start with the fashion items. Our ship is fully repaired. And just like Power Rangers, we're starting in the teleporter ready to go.
That's right.
The only thing that's not right here is somebody starts with in the wardrobe like this. And that would be the start of our scenario. We would start just like in the tutorial mission. And this time, the Titan field is completely charged up. So there's 8 power cubes for us to juggle back and forth. And we would go about the turn just like we did in the tutorial. So all of that's exactly the same, except for things get more complicated in the event phase, and we have more stacking of what happens when you use fashion items and fast fashion items, and what happens when you unlock space pets. So it adds one level of complexity, but probably an order of magnitude difficulty.
Yes. It does get a little tougher.
It gets a lot tougher.
Let's show them one of the space puppies or whatever.
Look at them, yeah.
All right, so the space pets are the highest form of upgrade in the game, right? They will not, they're like real pets. They will not work for everybody. Like the Furious Hamster, who might be a refugee on your ship after the Delta 9 incident, can only work for green and blue. Okay? He's a hothead. He will only work for the cooler heads in the group. You put him with red, then in the rage plate, that's what happened with the Delta 9 incident. So if you see, when you pull from the bag and you have the space pet, they make reds also blue.
So you get the critical hit, but you still take out the target.
Yes, and that means you would get to lock that die on the board, taking it off the bag.
So the critical hit can go into a place that's more optimal for us to not have to deal with it again for a while.
Right, until it creeps back into the bag. And so that bag building part of the thing, this is one of the ways to work the bag building part of it. Okay. So, another way to work the bag building part of it is space cannons. Space cannons, you pull 2, you resolve both, and then reds cannot hurt you. You still, when you draw a Bairnt tile, you still miss.
Yeah, you still miss.
You still miss, but this is another way to try to get criticals out of the bag by using the engage, which would then subsequently fire at both of those spaces. And you always, not because this is an homage to somebody else's games, you can only shoot directly up because they have phase shields, Steve, that protect them, and you can only shoot the phase shield in one direction. Right? It's like slowly the knife enters the shield. You cannot, you just shoot it off. It bounces off. It's the phase shields. Yes.
We need more references in the stream.
It's like my games have so many Easter eggs. Like Mouse Cheese Cat Cucumber has 28 mousterpieces. And those are just the art references. There's 28 fine art references in our other game. And so this game is just loaded with every idea that my psyche has stumbled over in the last 50 years.
That's pretty amazing.
So we have Aaron in the chat. He says he will buy a copy if you come with it.
Yes.
Well, that is a question. There might be we might modify one of the tiers to have me give you the TTS tutorial.
There you go.
That's pretty awesome.
It's one of the high tiers, but if that's something that you're interested in, Aaron, go to our Game Found and mention that in our comments, and we will address that this week. People have suggested that before. If people want to support to that level, otherwise, we really, really hope that people want to support independent games and diverse voices, and you can do that a lot of ways, not just by supporting the project financially. If you participate with the fun of the campaign, and I promise you, we have a lot of weird fun Easter eggy stuff. Like currently, on Saturdays and Wednesdays, we are doing a Powered by Terrible Democracy story on our Instagram. We say Powered by Terrible Democracy because Choose Your Own Adventure is copyrighted. So, like Powered by Terrible Democracy story, where everybody on Instagram gets to vote where the Cosmic Cat, which is one of these pets, is reliving the story of Princess Zero. Princess Zero is the comic book that is before the Conquest Princess board game. We already published digitally a 32-page woodblock couture telling of the dark history of our giant robot. So if anybody's watched anime, they know that like the best robots start as bad robots. And they all have a dark or tragic history. Like the Gundams, Transor Z, Voltron, they're all evil, right? Or being sought after by evil. And so we told 32-page story about the events before the Temporal Intergalactic Armed Response Agency is told. And it has a full cast motion comic. Well, because that's not enough, Steve, because the overproduction is not enough to have that version of the comic, we're also doing a Powered by Terrible Democracy revisiting of that story twice a week on Instagram.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty good. Now, this game also is technically kind of a campaign game as well, if you want it to be, correct? Because it kind of tells the story.
Yes, if you want to play the story, you can, but you can also set the mission based on the difficulty like you want to have. Like older kids, like tweens, can probably play the tutorial mission, or if you sit a kid in your lap, you can play the tutorial mission with them because they will win, unless they're you guys.
Unless they're us, and I take a power cube. Steve misses.
But it teaches them the fun, like pulling tiles out of the bag and revealing it is really satisfying no matter what age you are. The standard mission, if you want to tone it down, of course, you can set the danger level to lower.
Sure.
But the advanced mission is heart attack serious. It is really good. It is definitely not for Matt, because I know he's going to ask what it is. It's definitely not Asteroids, Pitfall, and Galaga. It's definitely not those things. Or Defender. It's probably more Defender than Galaga. It's definitely not those things. And this is also something, like I said, it's nowhere in the literature. It's nowhere on the GameFound that we talk about this. We literally only talk about this on streams. Because I'm infamous for just burying my games in Easter eggs. At least for a while, and then I do like a big reveal, all the Easter eggs in the game. It's part of the game's discover, like the Easter eggs that you discover. It's part of the fun of the campaign.
Sure.
And the last mission is even more different. It's the boss battle mission where you face off against the fashion tyrant. And Matt, it's definitely not DDR meets Tempest meets Tron Deadly Disc. It's definitely not those three things. It's definitely not that. So no one gets confused. If you ever thought, like, it took a long time for me to visualize like how the Power Rangers were actually controlling the ship, and the fact is it is actually DDR. You should like look at them. They're like
I remember DDR. DDR was so awesome back in the day. I used to have one of those pads, used to play it. It was so fun. I like DDR.
And the DDR mechanism for the boss battle is tight. It is
because this is definitely not my childhood.
Matt and I are obviously a similar age at this point. Matt, I love you, Matt. Yeah, absolutely. And so Bairnt got to discover this. Like, obviously, this is an everybody game. This is a game that actually has a theme that appeals to nerds, but also like with its space fashion and its Sailor Moon aspects, we're trying to get other people into gaming. Like for me as a game designer, I want to bring everybody to the game table, and I want everybody to have the kind of fun that I had, and I want it to be a bridge to other people. We're in a weirdly polarizing time in our like cycle of like media, and I really want to make things that bridges the gaps between people and This one's weird, but I really hope it does.
It's got a lot going for it that appeals to a lot of different people, which is one of the reasons. Like when I originally played it with you, I was like, okay, this is interesting. We'll give it a shot. But as we started playing, it's like, oh my gosh, this is a really good game. There's a lot of fun things going on here, and there's, like you said, lots of Easter eggs hidden there for people that can discover them. And it's overall, like I've said, it's going to be if it's a sleeper hit this year, I think for sure.
Full disclosure, Steve, I had to bribe Bairnt to say that, but in Minnesota, we only do that with hot dish. So now I owe Steve hot dish.
Yep. Tater tot hot dish. I expect that delivered tomorrow for dinner. Tater hot dish.
I liked how quick everything was too. Like it was really fast to resolve stuff, which is great.
Yeah. So thanks for you and the stream staying a little bit longer. I know you guys normally do just an hour. And Steve, are you a believer now? I know you were a little skeptical. Bairnt said, "Hey, we got to play this Space Princess game."
No, I really liked it. I have Captain's Dead right behind me. You can't see me. There's a green screen right here. But so like I like this type of theme, and of course, with all the references are really, really fun. The co-op bag builder, where it's just not like, because normally I'm used to like bag builders, but like here's my bag, here's your bag, we're building our bag separately. This is like, hey, this bag is the group's bag, is a really fun approach to it. I like that a lot too. So
there's
this is cool.
there's the modules are for it. Like, we're really proud of this. This mechanism of them holding on to hits is really good. It was a breakthrough for us, making it all happen. I've been working on this for 6.5 years. This is the 9th total restart for the game.
Wow.
And so the Yang brothers, who helped me with Mouse Cheese, happened with it. The modules are also designed in such a way that we can put them together. That is one of the stretch goals for the campaign that we're hoping we get to, is unlock the second story that you can play with just these modules. I promise, Matt, that I'm going to sneak in some Paperboy in there. But that's only if we get to that segment. But yeah, like there's out of the box, if we could, it basically, the stretch goal adds another set of instructions and 14. The event deck is unique each time. The event, depending on the mission, the combination. That's one of the stretch goals that make happen. But otherwise, like I said, if I made you laugh, please let the super nerd in your life who would like this know about this project, especially your ones at work or in your Discords where you can't normally reach them if you're somebody like myself, or just be present and have fun on any of the weird things that we're doing. So just so you know, like our intern's insane and I'm really susceptible to whining. And so Evan, our intern, wanted to go on dates with our space agents. And so we have on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, the temporary interdimensional amorphous romantic agenda, which is just a 2-page, like a 2-cell comic where my intern is going on dates with my space agents. It's exactly as weird as you think it is, but it's actually super duper fun. Also, we have propaganda posters as part of the thing. They're metal. They're those stellar prints, metal, like steel on lacquer prints, doing items from the comic book. And for the pets co-pilots, 3 of the pet co-pilots have propaganda posters that are done like Art Deco posters, so forth and whatnot. One of them is a corgi talking about may all dogs see paradise.
Can't go wrong.
Nice.
Now this is on Game Found, right? Not Kickstarter.
Yes,
it is Game Found. It's currently live. We did good in the first, like for us, we're indie, right? This is not a insta fund. But we got 50% in the first 72 hours, which has got us on a good trajectory. I would like us to get through some of the stretch goals, but it's going to be something that only happens because people believe in it and want to make it happen. And so the response, the reviews have been great, Bairnt. You're in a choir of people who have decided that this game is better than its theme.
Yes. Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I do have
people
a
have-
link to the GameFound page in the video description, so you guys can check out
Yes.
there.
And if anybody needs to get a hold of you, they can get a hold of you through like the Game Found or something like that, right? If they have any questions.
All our social medias are Fight in a Box. So you
Okay.
can. I managed 10 years ago to edge out a brilliant jiu-jitsu studio that had the Fight in a Boxes. They let them lapse. And so I'm expecting that they will come and get their revenge any day. but I have Fight in a Box everywhere. Totally true
That's pretty
story.
awesome.
Very terrifying.
Well, Seppy, it's been a blast having you on here. Bairnt, thanks for joining as well. So, did I lose you?
Huh?
Oh, as I said, it's been having a blast having you on here, Seppy. So,
Oh,
Yes.
thanks. Are we done? Are we still recording? Or are we done?
no, we're still good.
We're
so,
still recording.
yeah, to go. Hope everyone can check this out. If you guys have any questions, let us know. Like I said, we'll be on our Discord if you have questions there, and then drop comments on YouTube here channel. We'll do our best. So,
Oh, that's
Sweet.
awesome. This was super fun. Baron, thank you for setting this up. Steve,
Oh my
you
God.
are a master of streaming and TTS.
Yes, he is.
It really helps me set the goal of like where the standard is. I feel like I've done a lot of these lately, and you were clearly like the largest and most in charges for this kind of thing.
most in charges. Thank you. I'll put on my business card.
Yeah, it was a joy. You kept everything moving successfully. We even got Bairnt to install it, show up, remember their
That's
password.
right.
Yeah, so
Got it.
good. Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
thank you, Seppy, for jumping on and teaching us and showing everybody everything about this game. Anybody's interested, of course, please check out Game Found. That's where it is. You will not be you'll regret it if you do not back this, and you will not regret it if you do. It's like I said, I think this is my hidden gem this year. I think this is a good
Cool.
game.
Cool.
I'm really excited.
Yay!
Awesome.
I'm so happy.
Okay, well, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you at the next stop. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.